Okay, we're all dandy and looking nice, right? What is Trump doing? Like, what is his business sort of approach? What is he doing? You guys, he's trying to give more jobs to America. Let me explain how this is going to happen. And he's also doing a lot of crazy things. You guys, back in the day, when I applied for medical school, I'm going to be honest here. The reason why I was like, okay, I'll do it is because the amount of money that was in it. And I didn't do it for the money, but I'm like, if I'm going to invest years of education, I better get paid for it. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna give my life to medicine and then have medicine just like play with me, which is what every doctor is dealing with right now. They're having to have multiple jobs because one job is not enough. It's not enough to survive. It's not enough to support a family. It's not enough. It really isn't, okay? It just isn't. It just isn't. I have to put it out there, especially with loans and all these things, especially now. Oh my gosh, you have to be crazy to go into medicine. Why? Because it's the law of supply and demand. Again, there are so many foreign doctors coming outside of America that are not American, not born, not raised, not even American at all. And they're coming here and and they're not doing a very good job either way. But what I'm trying to say is they're coming here, okay? They're taking the jobs away from the Americans. Look. And what ends up happening is instead of having now, just 3 doctors in this field, you now have 150 billion. So the salary is obviously going to decrease for each one of them. So now it used to be like, oh yeah, doctors are making like $1 million a year, 700,000, all this stuff. And now it's like, not even. And that's why you find jobs like you find nurses and you find this and you find that. And you're like, dude, you've got, as Hillary Clinton said, a nurse is someone with little education and overpay. Yeah, I just want all these Democratic women to know that because she doesn't really find nurses intelligent. But regardless, I'd like to say that regardless, what I'm trying to say is why is there so much of a fight in healthcare? The reason why there's so much of a war in healthcare and why there's now, we're going to create the, radiologist technician, this technician, the dental assistant, the blah, 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 blah. It's like, what is going on here? A doctor used to handle his own business. There was no nurse. There was no this. It was a doctor. That was it. He was in charge of everything. Everything. It was his patient. It's his patient. He decides what he wants to do. Or she decides what she wants to do. Now, there are just not enough jobs, so they got to create jobs that are crazy. Okay, we're going to create this and this and that. And what ends up happening is it becomes actually detrimental, and it becomes infringing on the leader of the whole group, the doctor over here. And I don't care what anyone says, that is the leader. Okay, let's just be honest here. The doctor is the leader. I'm sorry, okay? You got the leader over here. That's not even in charge because now you have to have a balance of power because of the fact that there's not enough jobs and the fact that people are fighting over it. And there's just too many doctors and there's too many this and there's too many that. Yeah, we do have a shortage, but we don't have a shortage. We have a shortage only in certain fields. We don't have a shortage. And also in those fields, even if there's a shortage, there's still a shortage just relatively speaking, but there's still nothing like it was back in the day where it was like, wow, you were bawling. You were bawling. Yeah. So, what I'm trying to say is by blocking that, and good job, President Trump. I was about to say good job, Dr. Trump. For all I know, he should get a doctorate right now. Good job, Dr. Trump. Good job. Block the IMGs. Block that. Block them. Yeah, block. First of all, if they're that good, they need to stay in their country. And they need to actually help their own patients over there because they need help more than here. We can't just send everyone to America for health care. They need to fix their own countries, and we should help them if we can. If we can, then we can help them with their technology and their issues there. But again, it is not America's job to infiltrate here and bring people here that are not equipped and actually are just taking advantage of the government and don't even like America to begin with. So, keep them there. They're out. By them being out, guess what? You're gonna increase the competition now. That being a doctor, it's so easy to get into medical school now, you guys. You could do it blindfolded. I mean, it is the joke. When I got in back in 1999, nobody No girl in the community, it was unheard of for her to enter medicine. It was just too hard. You could not get those grades. You could not get those MCATs. You could not get that. You just could not enter medicine. You just could not, let alone an Ivy League school, let alone a UC, let alone all this stuff. Why? Because then all of a sudden, out of the blue, there was a movement to totally wipe that out, and now there's a shortage, and wipe out the salaries, bring in the HMOs, bring in this, bring in that, free healthcare, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da, and who's the one who suffered? It's like you're a doctor making 200, someone else is making, a teacher could be making 200 right now, depending on her experience. So it's like, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you want a 9 to 5, do you want an 8 to 2, okay, with all summers, every holiday off, or do you want a 6 a.m. till midnight and no vacation whatsoever? So again, realistically speaking, plus no loans versus a lot of loans. So medicine has been destroyed because of all this stuff that's happening in America. Yeah? Yeah, so why are you not on Trump's boat? Why are you not on Trump? Especially as a physician, you should be totally on Trump's boat. You should be like, go Trump, go Trump. Because number one, he's helping you in that regards. Okay? He's helping you in that regards. And with everything, with law, with that, well, with California, don't worry. I don't think any foreign person will be able to pass the California bar. But either way, I don't think anybody could do that. But I mean, with medicine, it's different because it's just memorization. There's no English involved. If there was, we would have no foreign doctor here. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, what bacteria does this? Oh, this is all memory. But either way, the jobs are going to other people, to foreign doctors. And I know what's bad? People in my own family, which I'm not going to mention, will see what foreign doctors do and the procedures and how they've messed up. And they're like, oh, I have to fix their mistakes. So they're not happy about having to fix their mistakes. Someone's commenting, let me make sure that it's not an attack on Trump. I don't allow attacks on my page. But he's, oh, okay, here we go. Let's see. Someone wrote, is there a grade lower than F-? It's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion on Trump. I don't defriend, I don't block, I don't limit people just because they hate Trump or they hate people who vote for Trump. I don't care. You're allowed to have your opinion. I'm not going to fight with you. I love him for what he's doing right now. I'm so in support of it because I'm thinking on a big picture. I'm thinking, actually, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I realize, wow, this is really true. What happened to the Coptic church, let's forget medicine for a moment. What happened to the Coptic church is all the immigrants came in the church, in my own church, and kicked the ones born here out. So what happened is we gave the jobs to the ones born in Egypt. Yeah, we want Sunday school, but we don't want it taught by someone born in America. We're afraid you might actually say something that they might actually agree with. So we want those born in Egypt, and they do that. We don't want the person holding the mic that's born in America. No, because they're Arabic. Isn't that good? And no. We want that one. Min Masr, Ma'allim, min Masr. So all the jobs, even in the church, are given to those born in Egypt, including to priesthood. We don't want more priests born in Egypt. We want more priests born in America who understand the issues. And we want more Tassonis born in America who understand the issues. I don't want you if you're born in Egypt right now. We have enough of you. I love you. Wonderful. But we have issues here that we need to solve. And it doesn't help you by creating, oh, now we have a St. Paul and St. Gregory. What you're doing is Xing me out of my own Coptic church by putting this little teeny church and saying, okay, it's the American version. They should all be the American version because I'm in America. So I have a problem with that, obviously. So you're kicking out, again, this is a whole concept. If you're a good business person, and by the way, if you guys don't know me, I'm amazing at business. People don't know me. But when I want businesses to thrive, I'm like, lucky is the man who marries me. Did you get the Christmas card from the office? Yeah. So those things, that kind of like advertisement and little things here and there, cupcakes at the office, da-da-da-da-da, you hook it up with some kind of, salon. Hey, listen, we'll give you free services. Can you give our patients free services? Can you da-da-da-da? Can we start, that kind of business mentality is how people make money. And you're a business person. If you have anytime you have a gathering, a following, people love listening to you. You have an aura. You take the spotlight and you own it. You are a good businessman or woman. That is a given. Okay? So, again, that's why it's not hard for Ivanka Trump. That's why it's not, because she had the platform. The father was rich, he had his own company, and she's like, okay, she was born into that, and she had the avenues, and she had that what? She had that ability to take the spotlight. When you have that, okay, you can do that for a man. You don't do it for yourself, or else you'd be the alpha male. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times you got to look behind the doctor over here. How's his wife? What is she like? What is she like? Oh, she's behind it all. Honey, you should do this. You should do that. We should do that. We should do that. Because he has the brains and she has the beauty. So again, that's why we do that. This is you guys, this is old-fashioned stuff, and it should be obvious. But again, people don't understand it. So let me explain this to you. It works that way in business. If you stop the immigrants from entering into the church, in other words, entering into the country, entering into this, limit it. In fact, I wish you could limit it all. Limit it. There's an overcrowding. There's too much people here. There's too much competition here. There's too many things here. I can't even go outside California without, Irvine used to be a place where no one came. But now you've got the apartments, and you have the people living on welfare who obviously want to live in Irvine. They built the apartments for them. Again, you are damaging the system. For who? For those born in America. Yeah. So, by saying, no, you have your Coptic church in Egypt. Enjoy it, and that's your country. You were born into it. Why would you leave? Why would you leave your first love? That's totally against Revelations too. See, this is the whole thing. You have multiple partners, you have multiple countries, you have multiple this. How about being faithful, loyal to your country for once in your freaking life? Be loyal. Is that possible? Is it? I don't know. So, you stop that, then guess what? We don't have anyone to lead the hymns. Guess we'll pick someone born in America. Come here. You want to lead the hymn? Of course he's going to struggle in the beginning. But guess what? And you're going to protest. We don't want that. We want the immigrant. We want the refugee. You're going to protest all you want, but guess what? You're not really smart. That's why you don't have jobs here. That's why those suffering the most are the ones born here. Everyone else comes here. I get free healthcare. I get free this. I get free welfare. I get free... My parents didn't even take advantage of the government like this when they came here. They were studying. But you're coming here just to take advantage of the government. And you're doing a great job, and you're using the government, and then you're taking that money and you're giving it to your kids who have now no loans, and they get to study and they get to pursue their education and take it further and further and further. Everyone else is trying and suffering for the dollar, for the this, while you're given free everything. It was actually better to be someone on welfare as an immigrant and blah, blah, blah. You didn't have to pay anything back. You didn't have to do anything. And all you had to do was you never had to work to help anyone. You never had to da-da-da-da. They ended up using their money to have maids, to have this. I'm telling you, they cheated the system in ways. Someone has to stop it. I'm sorry, things get abused in this world. And that's why I'm on Trump's boat. And I wish he could be more radical. And if you protest more, it just means you're brainless and you have no idea what you're doing. It's not just some kind of, oh, we love everybody, let's just bring everyone in. Have you ever ran a business before in your life? Or do you know anything about economics or business? Do you know anything about that stuff? You need to read. Because the ignorance of this country is just disgusting, and it's actually horrific to me that people are that brainless. It's time for you to understand why America has been falling. And honestly, those of you who are immigrants and coming here, your voice shouldn't be that loud like my voice should be loud. It's a shame that people born here don't have my voice. Because it's like the people that are immigrants have my voice, and they probably shouldn't even have it, because how else did they get in here? I'm not someone who got in here. I am somebody that was born here. Okay? So it makes it really even worse to see that people born here are so blinded by what's happening in America. They don't understand that what's happening. You have to give priority to those born here. You have to give priority to those who are in this country. Number one, to those born here. Number two, to those coming into the country. But number one, to those born here. And that's what I tell the church day in and day out. The reason why your kids born here have left the church is because you have allowed someone else to take their job. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Yeah. Take the field of psychiatry, for example. Almost everyone in the field, it's overpopulated by foreign grads. Why? Because it's the lowest board score, because it's the lowest this, because the training isn't difficult, because all these things. So you take that kind of field, right? Because you know the foreign grads don't get into like the radiology and the plastic surgery and all. They don't get into that. But either way, you take that field or internal medicine, whatever it is. But I'm going to just take psychiatry because that's number one. You take that, and then you have all these foreign doctors, psychiatrists, billions, not billions, but you know. You have so many, okay? And then you have the ones born here and the ones that are not immigrants. And they are not that many, okay? And so the variety, there's so many, makes the ones born here sort of like nothing. So the salary decreases for every one of them. But let's say you didn't allow these foreign grads to come in here. You didn't allow this kind of infiltration of refugees and immigrants. Then you only have a few. And so those few get paid the big bucks. Yeah, the millions. They make in the millions because of that. But because you have not, again, when you make it so much easier for foreign grads, for foreign this, for immigrants to give welfare, to give da-da-da. When you make it so easy for those coming into the country, you make it harder for those in the country. That's what I say about virginity. You guys, it's just the law of supply and demand. It's just common sense. It's like what I say for virginity. When you make it so easy for anyone to have sex outside of marriage, you decrease the value of the virgin. Not to someone who understands it, but most of the world is brainless. Like, how on earth are men marrying non-virgins? Are you crazy? If I was a guy, I wouldn't touch a non-virgin with a 10-foot pole. I don't care what anyone says. I would not. I'd be terrified. So the reason why you've allowed yourself to do that is because there's not too many virgins and there's so many people who are non-virgins, it's easier to give the job to someone else. And you don't even know who the best of the best is because all you're going to is what's available. You don't even know because now you put 5 billion bad apples. You can't even find the good apple. And if you did, it's going to be like tainted. You guys, this is common sense. Okay? And the fact that I know this, you better believe Donald Trump knows this. Because I ain't going to put someone in cluster B down no matter what. I ain't going to do that. And I joke about that. But regardless, the point is, oh, he's narcissistic. Oh, he's da-da-da-da. Well, if you have that much money as a man, you are going to be narcissistic. If you're that pretty as a girl, you are going to be narcissistic too. So you know what? Or borderline, or whatever it is, call it whatever you want. But all it is self-confidence that, you know what, I know I'm pretty, so I don't care. Or I know I'm rich and successful, I don't care. That's fine. That's what's allowing him to say, I'm going to make a change. And he will do it. And it's time to stop nagging and start supporting our president. Let us support him. Stop protesting. Stop being snowflakes. Stop sitting here. Because the reason why you are out there is because you don't have a job. Now, you want a job. I understand. You do. You're an American and you want a job. So guess what? Follow Trump. Because the reason you're out there protesting to begin with is because of the person before you who messed your life up. And the one before him. What I'm trying to say is allow him to do it. And support him. Support him 10 million times more. And say, please, can you ban more countries? Let's ban more countries. Can you make it more difficult? You couldn't come to America if you didn't have a scholarship back in the day. My parents couldn't have come in unless they were coming to study. They were going for their PhDs in chemistry and they got it. You could not just come into America, oh, I'm just coming in to get free healthcare and free food. That's not why you could not come into America to do that. I'm sorry. Why have we become so easy with this right now? Then no one's going to come to America now. They're going to be like, oh, you're not going to give me free food and free this? All right, I ain't coming. Good. We don't want you. We don't want you to come and take advantage of us. All right? All right, you guys. STM. You guys know I put it on the Rizzle, and you know I'm right. All right.